What's good, YouTube? I am back again today, and this time I have a deck profile with Gemini Gym Knights. And I thought I'd do this because I've had this deck for a while. I've messed around with it a bit, and it's really fun. And if you don't know what Gemini Gym Knights do, first off, Gym Knights spam the field using their broken fusion card. That is somehow more broken, but somehow less broken than Miracle Fusion. And you spam the board with your fusion monsters that all have alright effects. They're alright. And what stops Gemini and Gym Knights from being different is that you run Gemini monsters that let you run Gemini spells that let you gain advantage over such. Now, I've seen a few there. I'm sure you can find a lot better builds online. This is just the skeleton I've been working with. Maybe if the deck impresses me more than it already has, just a little bit, I'll work even harder on it, but the deck's fun, yes. So, minute in deck profile. 3 Gem Armadillo. Puts any Gem Knight monster you want back from your deck to your hand, so it's Stratos. That's a good card. Very good. 3 Amber. And 3... this guy. I don't know how to pronounce that. They're the Gemini monsters. We'll get back to you in a bit. 3 Garnet. 3 Tortellini. You need these exact cards, Garnet and Tortellini, to summon certain fusions from your deck. That's why you run them. And 2 Obsidian, 2 Lazuli. This deck negs itself very hard, where you play Gem Knight Fusion, you send 2 monsters from your hand or field to the grave. So, in essence, it's a neg 2. And so these guys make it so you're only negging 1 because their effects activate when they're sent to the grave by Gem Knight Fusion. And then Fusion Zone effect, where you can banish a Gem Knight from your grave to add this back to your hand from your grave, makes it so that you break even when using Gem Knight Fusion. So they're pretty good. 3 Turtle. When this card is flip summoned, add a Gem Knight Fusion from your deck to your hand, because you need to get this card as quickly as possible, because it is your win condition how the deck functions. And 2 Summoner Monk. Pitching a spell is not a big problem in this deck, because sometimes you'll have a dead spell, like a dead Gemini Spark, although Gemini Spark's not that dead in this deck, or Gem Knight Fusion, which you can easily recycle. Just pitch it. If you open up with something like Summoner Monk and you don't have Gem Fusion, the standard play you'll make is Summoner Monk, pitch a spell, get the Fall Vault Chain, detach, send Fusion to the grave, and once you have at least 1 Fusion, Summoner Monk will then just play the role of sending something like Lazuli to your grave, because then Lazuli's effect will activate, giving you a Gem Knight monster back to your hand, and that's pretty good. 3 Gem Knight Fusion. I've talked about it just by talking about the monsters. You know what it does by now. It's a very good card. 3 Gemini Spark. You run 6 Gemini monsters, and Summoner Monk helps you get it back. Dark Factory helps you get it back. Supervise helps get it to you back. Armadillo helps you get to them. It's not going to be dead, and if it is dead, pitch it for Summoner Monk. And if you've seen Heroes even once, you know how good this card is, especially when your punch has to blind him a steed or something. You chain it, and you get that +1. 2 Supervise. I like this card because it's kind of cute. You equip it to a Gemini monster, and when that Gemini monster is destroyed, Supervise effect activates, letting you special summon 1 normal monster from your grave back to the field. So Gemini monsters are treated as normal monsters in the grave, so you pretty much essentially have 12 targets, potentially, that can wind up in grave. And it's just another way that you don't neg as much when you use Gem Knight Fusion. 2 Dark Factory of Mass Production. That +1 that lets you reuse Gem Knight Fusion. All good. Unholy Trinity, and 3 MST, because this deck doesn't like back row. And onto the extra deck. I run 1 Cowboy for the Pew Pew. Laval Vault Chain, I already talked about its plays with Summoner Monk. Djinn for stalling. Gemini Pearl is not only a beat stick for this deck, but it also plays the other role if it can be used with Gemini Fusion to fusion summon, or banish banish Gemini Pearl from the grave to add this back to your hand. And if the fusions are on 2 Topaz, it can attack twice. Citrine, your opponent can't activate cards until the end of the damage step when it attacks. So no Gores, no Mystic Tomato, none of that stuff. 2 Prism, you send a Gemini card from your hand to the grave to destroy a face-up card on the field. So this helps you get over cards such as Abyss. Well, you can get over Abyss Megalo, Judgment Dragon, big boss monsters, or maybe there's something like Gravity Bind on the field that you're having that's just stalling you out. This can pop that too. Very good card. 2 Ruby, he inflicts piercing. 2 Zarconia, because that 29 attack is devastating, especially when you can OTK, because if you get the proper hand and your opponent doesn't really have any answers, this deck can OTK, although if the OTK is stopped, you kind of negged yourself really hard, so if you do make this deck and you do see potential for OTK, always be careful of that Gorish Trag Battle Fader. And then 1 Gem Knight Diamond Master. If you have a level 7 or higher Gem Knight monster, level 7 or lower Gem Knight monster in your grave, you can banish it. And this card gains that name and effect. So he works really good with Ruby and Prism. I've never brought him out, but I know the moment I take him out, I will want him. So, yeah. That's the deck profile. Thank you for watching. Tell me what you think about it in the description. Like the video if you liked the video. Dislike the video if you didn't like the video, but please tell me why you didn't like the video. Subscribe if you want more content, because here's a secret just for you people who are going to watch till the end of the video. I'm working on a very special thing that involves some zombie decks I've been working on. And that should be out sometime this week, hopefully. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.